Welcome back to your latest industry recap. An ambitious airline has published some news on its first flight. There's a new route with an interesting twist and some strike action, but why not begin with Global Airlines, who have really been unveiled as one of the most optimistic companies in existence, having now also confirmed that their first flight is expected to occur on the 15th of May 2025. The airline will offer service operated by Hi-Fly on an Airbus A380 between Glasgow and New York JFK as HFM 808, departure scheduled for 11 o'clock in the morning and a 1 p.m. arrival into JFK, these times local. Global Airlines confirms then, interestingly enough, the aircraft will spend likely 4 days on the ground with no other scheduled flight between the initial flight and departure. It'll therefore depart to Glasgow on the 19th of May, departure at 8 a.m. The second flight will be operated as HFM 810 with a departure on the 21st of May from Manchester International Airport, the flight touching down at New York JFK on the same day. The thing is, once more, your return flight will only depart 4 days later as HFM 811 on the 25th of May with an 8:55 in the morning wheels up for a 8:40 p.m. arrival back into the United Kingdom. On your screen now is the initial flight schedule. Global Airlines is partnering with the established Hi-Fly to conduct these services aboard an A380, looking to really leverage Hi-Fly's experience in the industry and with the A380 to conduct a robust operation. Remember that Hi-Fly did once have the A380, but we probably shouldn't mention to Global Airlines that it was a complete and utter disaster and saw them rid themselves of this plane relatively quickly. The airline's schedule does remain a bit of a peculiar one, with no identity present, let alone a demographic or firm business model being targeted. Global Airlines says the first 2 flights on sale are destined for New York JFK. This aligns with commentary from some time ago when they confirmed that New York and Los Angeles would be among the first locations to welcome their service. Who are Global Airlines? Well, they are a British startup. They're aiming to launch passenger services now, and in their bold target to become really an industry leader, they want to leverage the capacity seen on the Airbus A380 to reach global markets. They hope to fly right around the world, and while I touched on Los Angeles and New York forming an initial part of their route map, using London Gatwick as a home, well, now the first 2 flights are confirmed, not exactly from Gatwick initially. And then we have to factor in as well that the company knew it would not get off the ground with its own personnel. It partnered with Hi-Fly. Despite this being labelled by some as a fantasy airline from a video game, they continue to plod along and are seeing expressions of interest now opening on getting these flights in the air. Whether they actually happen is another question, but they are confident that their business model is structurally sound and that they will have no problem filling a 500-seater plane thereabouts that legacy and well-established companies have struggled to fill for decades. Moreover, they also feel fine facing competition from established legacy carriers with fantastic loyalty systems and very much widespread networks who can offer far greater perks, a more robust service, and just generally have a renowned business on some of the industry's busiest routes, where even low-cost units have collapsed under the pressure trying to operate a model that is sustainable, and they've miserably failed. I won't be too critical though, because I probably will receive yet another email of 5 paragraphs stating that I'm being way too harsh from one of their executives. But no more on that. On to the next story. Alaska Airlines has confirmed that starting September 12, 2025, they're going to operate between Seattle and Seoul Incheon. But there's a little bit of a catch. As part of Alaska Airlines and Hawaiian Airlines' takeover, the broader Alaska Airlines group is now having the opportunity to reach long-haul markets for the first time. The catch is the knowledge that Alaska Airlines doesn't have any wide-body aircraft in its mainline operation, but see, the beauty of this takeover that we're seeing taking place is now they have access to the Hawaiian Airlines fleet, and this is exactly how this new route will be possible, thanks to those wide-body planes. The route was initially announced in December. However, a date has now been confirmed, and the route will be flown with the Airbus A330-200 on a Hawaiian Airlines aircraft, but from Seattle, and the plane will not stop in Hawaii. Serving the South Korean capital will help cater to business and leisure demand, but it will be very much more important for the effects on where the flight actually originates from in Seattle. That is because Alaska Airlines has made their intentions very clear. They believe that Seattle will become a new premier global gateway, and through this intent, the action is that by 2030, you'll see 12 non-stop international destinations to be served from Seattle with wide-body aircraft. For example, Seoul Incheon that I'm talking about today will join Tokyo Narita, which is expected to begin sooner on May the 12th. Therefore, these are the first of your 12 scheduled destinations expected to arrive in the next, say, 5 years. Seattle already serves 104 non-stop destinations across North America, so therefore Alaska Airlines feels that it is optimally placed to meet the stronger international traffic that will then feed onwards towards markets on Alaska Airlines short-haul aircraft. This doesn't mean that, say, markets in Hawaii are going to see less connectivity. Frankly, the deal wouldn't have been allowed to go ahead if that was the case, but Alaska Airlines wants to leverage the available aircraft and capacity growth to really position itself to take greater control of the west coast of the US, really focusing on those markets west with its aircraft, whether that be mainline or through Hawaiian Airlines, to try and compete with your big three established airlines calling the same country their home base. Over to the final story, and Finnair in recent days was forced to axe around 70 flights, this occurring on Thursday, March 27th, as they faced industrial action. 3 trade unions that are part of the Finnish Aviation Union and Finnish Transport Workers Union announced their intent to conduct the industrial action, taking place over a multiple-hour period. It did impact the Finnish flag carrier and its operations on the day, as they continue to see the effects in the following ones. With thousands of passengers being impacted, strike action is obviously never the most optimal thing to occur for an airline, and it has certainly become a reoccurring theme in the last few years. The varying degree of impact, however, on the airline is something that will change. A multiple-hour strike occurring only once is probably the best case scenario. However, if you're looking at a multi-day strike or a reoccurring strike that happens once every few months on a consistent basis, that is where you will begin to start seeing more issues creep in. Look at Lufthansa, who really needed to sort out labour contracts with many of their employee groups. The persistent strike action throughout their operations for the beginning of last year, and as a result, they did feel some very much financial impact in a negative manner. Finnair's chief operating officer did note that the effects that are being felt are completely unreasonable, as they highlight that now thousands have been forced to change their travel plans with very little notice. The customers affected should have already received available options for cancellations, offloading, or rebookings, and the option should have also been there to collect a refund if you were impacted. Feel free to let me know down below in the comments, but that will conclude today's aviation news recap. Thank you very much for your support here on the channel. It is certainly appreciated. Please take care, do be safe. I'll see you same place, same time tomorrow for your latest industry recap.
And we'll fly.